Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Thursday night live stream hangout, chit chat, whatever you want to call it. My name's Jason. This is just Jason Keto and More, where we do live keto recipes, or not live recipes, but we do keto recipes. We do live streams every week. And if you're around about half an hour ago, we actually did an unboxing and a review of an air fryer, which was exciting. One of my first sort of full length review type videos that I've done in a long time. So if you missed that, hopefully you'll go check it out after the live stream. But yeah, welcome everyone. Hopefully you're all having a good week so far. Hopefully you can hear me all right. StreamYard always tells me things are looking good, but you just never know. So we will look at the chat here because I saw there was a few people early in the door. We've got Michael from Michael's Adventures here. Carrie's here. What's Carrie's joke of the week? What do astronauts put on their toast? Space Jam. There we go. Always count on Carrie to give us a laugh for the week. Thank you for that, Carrie. Matt Mouse in the house. Good to see you guys. Thank you for coming in. Scratch and Pete PA is here as well. I've got Andy Crafty Witch 232 is here. While we get started, if anyone has a channel here and they want to drop a link to the channel, just type #Thrive in the chat and Nightbot should drop your channel link for you. So get that out of the way. We've got Lynn here. It's good to see you, Lynn. Let's see what we're going on. Matt's talking to Michael about his raccoon premiere. Michael's got premieres every day with lots of wildlife. So if you're into that stuff, definitely check out Michael's channel. Everyone is saying hi back and forth here. I want to make sure we're not missing anyone. I've got Tiffany here as well. And Carrie's saying he's switching. He's going to start doing some new things, getting out of the computer world and jumping into the world of pastry arts. Sounds exciting, Carrie. Hopefully that's something that makes you happy and, is fulfilling as well. So good luck to you with that for sure. PJ St. Pierre is here. Thank you for coming by the live stream. I know you were at the premiere as well. And again, thank you to everyone that joined me for the premiere of my unboxing and review video of the air fryer from Tyfer. It was really nice of them to send me the product to do an unboxing for. It was one of those things, I guess, as a creator, it's always exciting to, get involved in things like that. Because it kind of shows, I guess, that, people view your channel as having a bit of a reach, and, it's always nice to get that feeling. So, but thank you for being here, PJ. Got Kendra is here. Thank you for coming by, Kendra. I see Kendra has another video from last night that's doing really well. You're just killing it every week now. I don't know how we're ever going to keep up with you. You keep putting out these great videos and they just keep going viral. So great to see, though. Everyone's talking back and they're saying hi to each other here, kind of thing. Thank you for that. Yeah, that's all right, Lynn. It was probably definitely one of my longer videos. I've had hour-long videos, but they are mostly like pre-recorded interviews that get that long. But I'm not really used to doing 20-minute videos. So let's just say that one took me basically the best part of the weekend to film and put together and everything. So hopefully, ultimately, hopefully I did the company, I did a good job for the company, for them, putting their faith in me doing a review on a product like that. So definitely go check that out. Thank you for that. Thank you, Pete. Yeah, if you can give the live stream a thumbs up, that would be appreciated. It helps get more engagement with YouTube tonight and in the future. Just want to make sure we're not missing anyone. Coming in, CNS Travels here. Thank you for coming in. Definitely appreciate it. Jesse's here. Thank you. And I enjoy your new name, Jesse, or your new channel name. I definitely get it. It's as we evolve with our channels, we're always looking to, sometimes it's a good idea to adjust our channel names to sort of more fit what we're doing. When I added the and more onto the end of my channel name, I was sort of thinking I was going to do a lot of the more content. It hasn't really happened, but I'm not really, and I've had the thought in the back of my head of changing the name of the channel entirely a couple of times, but at this point, I'd probably just roll with it unless something drastic changes. So let's make sure we're not missing anyone here. I can't get work. And when I was in South Carolina, I did a lot of training with culinary arts. And then I went into computers, thought it was a good way. Yeah, well, sometimes we have to pivot, right, Carrie, and do what do what's going to be best for us. I know exactly what you're saying, though. It's sometimes you put a lot of time and effort into getting training for certain things, and unfortunately they don't pan out the way that we'd hope. So again, good luck with that transition. Hopefully you find lots of success in that avenue for sure. Jeremy D-Day is in the house. Thank you for coming, Jeremy. We've got Joe here, Rickwin 96. Henry Leslie, Vermont is in the house. Thank you for coming by. What did I miss here? Thanks for dropping the links, Paula. I definitely appreciate that. Let's make sure we're caught up. And if I miss anyone, I apologize. I don't mean to, but sometimes it does happen. We've got Corinne in the house. Good to see you. Hopefully the weather out there for you guys, for you and Tiffany, is not too bad tonight. And I know things were looking a little bit nasty earlier today. So hopefully it's not too bad. It's been kind of rainy, but thankfully a little bit warmer here in Southern Ontario. So it's one of those things that we'll get there with the nicer weather. So, but I did see it try and snow again this morning, which we've definitely had enough of that. Longer content takes so much more footage and effort. Yep. And that was, again, it's one of those things too, where I'm not, if I'm assuming most of the people that here have watched my sort of weekly chaffle recipes. It's something that I've over the last couple of years gotten to the point where, it only takes me 10 minutes to 15 minutes to film it. And then it only takes me, another half an hour to edit those videos. Only mainly because I've sort of streamlined the way I do things. I know what I want to capture and how I put it together. I know I need an intro and an exit, and like it's sort of streamlining your workflow makes it a lot easier. So when you get into something like that review video, which wound up having, you know, at the end of the filming, I had, maybe 35 different files I had to work with, as opposed to 5 when I do my recipe videos. So it definitely was an experience, but I'm looking forward to doing more videos like that. And it's always good practice to do things that we don't do very often. So Dr. John Smith is here. Thank you for coming in. If you ever, the John here will, he's got some really amazing sort of variations on a lot of the recipes that I'm doing. So, keep an eye out for his comments on some of the videos where he's taken what I've done and he's sort of amped it up and added some things and changed some things. So it's definitely worth keeping an eye out for John's comments on the videos. And I appreciate that kind of stuff too. Again, I've said it 100 times that what I put out for recipe videos every week, I try to keep them pretty basic, because what I want out of them is for all of you to just take it as inspiration and make it your own, right? Because that's really what helps us maintain this way of living, is to just, find new ways to come up with things that we enjoy. So, what's going on? Trish Reed is here. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. An adjustment for me after 5.5 years, the same name, but it's fun. Yeah, I can imagine that, Jesse, that it definitely makes things new and exciting and all that. So I can definitely appreciate that for sure. Yeah, thank you for coming in. Definitely appreciate it. Just Jason Keto and air fryer recipes. Yeah, well, I'd have to actually, maybe one of these days, it could be something that sort of branches off. But the one thing I'm sort of excited about is being able to try and incorporate this new air fryer into, because I feel like, yes, the chaffle recipes are doing okay, but I think I need to sort of freshen it up a little bit. They're still probably going to involve chaffles most of the time, but being able to do other different things to, make things a bit more interesting will definitely help. Make sure we're not missing anything. ETA issue on next cooking live stream. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. It's one of those things that getting the time, in the house alone to do it. Sometimes it can be on a schedule, sometimes not. But we'll work on something for March for sure. Not to brag, but here where I am in Texas, we're in the 70s already. Oh, that would be nice for sure. I think it changed over to rain now, and it's calling for heavy winds overnight. Well, that's no good. Strong winds. Yeah. Where am I in Ontario? I am just outside of London, Ontario. So southwestern Ontario. Down where we've probably had a total of almost 6 feet of snow this winter. Thank goodness half of it melted in December, because if it didn't, we would have been in trouble. Just make sure we're not missing anyone. Sue from the Bud Files is here. Thank you for coming in. And he's going to be in the background. That sounds good to me. Anytime you guys can spend with me is, really appreciated. We've all got busy lives, and, you already spent 20 minutes with me, a lot of you, on the on the premiere. So any other time you can spend with me is definitely appreciated. Workflow streamlining is huge for us. It used to take me over a week to try and get a video together. Now it's more like 4 to 5 hours of editing. Still need the motivation. Yep. Yes, I completely hear you. It definitely does make it easier or more enjoyable if it's not, doesn't seem like so much like work, I guess, kind of thing. On one hand, I guess my videos are very simple. They're easy to record for me. They're easy to edit and all that. But there are some times when I think, well, maybe it's impacting the content being that simple kind of thing. So that's some things that I worry about. But ultimately, they seem fairly well received as far as content goes. So that's why I've continued to do sort of the same format with the videos. Sometimes doing voiceovers, sometimes just doing real time voice on it, depending on whether I'm home alone or whatever kind of thing. So, and I don't know what everyone, if anyone actually has a preference. Do you prefer the voiceovers or do you prefer the real time narrating or what have you? It doesn't really seem to make a huge difference on the video performance, but I don't know. It's one of those things. It's weird. I don't like I don't want to sound like I coming off bragging or anything, but we were actually on a streak there for the last 10 chaffle recipes made it over the 1,000 view mark, at least. Some of them just over, and then one at 23,000 views or whatever it is. But unfortunately, that last video from last week with the Lily's chocolate and the mascarpone cheese chaffle didn't do so well. I was, again, let's just say it didn't do as well as the other ones, but it still did fairly well. So I don't know what it was about that one that didn't resonate with people, but they can't all be winners, I guess. So make sure we're not missing. I came up with a new one today. I put it on my mad scientist hat. That sounds good. Yeah, like I say, there's all sorts of things you can do with these recipes to make them your own, for sure. Yeah, he doesn't have a channel. He has a channel sort of, you can find him on YouTube. I was actually looking for him today too myself to see if he had any content, but I think you got a few videos, a few shorts up there from a few years ago, but yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where when I hear the recipes and the ideas that he comes up with, if he does ever start a YouTube channel and puts this stuff on it, I might have some really strong competition in the chaffle world. That's for sure. Let's see. I don't want to miss anything that's going on here. I think we saw Ruby come in. Thank you for coming in, Ruby. Shantae Hannah, thank you for joining us this evening. What do you got? Do you use cottage cheese very much? I made keto cottage cheese brownie the other day and a cottage cheese mousse tonight with chocolate banana protein powder. Sounds really good. I don't necessarily, I like cottage cheese and I've used it. Like I've made a cottage cheese chaffle before in the past, kind of thing. And there is so much you can make with cottage cheese that I haven't tried doing yet. I should definitely get on to that sort of trend at some point, but yeah, those definitely sound good. Sort of our neighbor. You're in Buffalo. Yeah, been to Buffalo many times. It's not too far from us for sure. So we missed it. Yeah, no worries, Kendra. Lots of good conversation going on here tonight for sure. For now, I post my modifications. Yep. Yeah, definitely see those all the time. My pastor does a lot of the video editing and he has all Macs he uses. He was asking the video people to do a slideshow and he kept asking. He took his all-in-one Mac home and found out how. Yeah. Yeah, Macs are definitely, good good editing tools. Most professional editors for video and all that are going to be using the Mac systems to do it. So, but I myself will never own one personally. I don't have anything against them, but I don't feel like learning new things at this point. PGA St. Pierre up north, Michigan, expecting 6 more inches of snow. Crap. Might as well make chaffles. Well, yeah, might as well make the best of it for sure. Can't believe you're going to get 6 more inches of snow, though. That sucks. Yeah, and like I say, I don't want to didn't want to complain about it or anything. I was, it's one of those things where the better your videos do week to week, the more sort of anxious you get every time you release a video, because that's one of those things where you're thinking, okay, well, my last few videos have done really well. What's this one going to do? And then, then another video slowly gets there. And I'm not saying that this week's video will never reach 1,000 views. It may. YouTube's pretty funny that way. The weird thing is looking at my analytics, the video from last week actually has a higher percentage viewed, like the actual view time on it, than most of my videos. And the click-through rate is where it should be, or it's typical for my videos. So I'm not sure what happened to it, but what I do know about YouTube is that for some reason, out of the blue and, for no reason at all, sometimes videos, even 2, 3, 4 weeks, 2 months, 3 months later, will just all of a sudden, go crazy. So, at this point, it's just keep doing what I'm doing and, having fun with it. And we will continue making new chaffle recipes every week for sure. Luigi is in the house. Thank you for coming in. Definitely appreciate you being here. Yeah, I enjoyed the chocolate mascarpone recipe. That was, and again, I can't really take all the credit for the cheese that we added to it. That was sort of a suggestion. I can't even remember who suggested. I should have gone back and looked at the comment for who suggested it, but that was from a viewer's comment that I got that idea. I am definitely going to look at using it for other things as well, though. Della is here. You like the Lily's chaffle? Thank you for that. Again, I was definitely enjoyed it. That one I like watching with the mascarpone cheese. Mascarpone cheese can be expensive. Yeah, it definitely is not cheap. But it's the kind of thing that you can use in all sorts of different things. So I'm not too worried about the expense. I'm almost thinking of, and I'm not saying that I can do it, but I have the idea in the back of my head of looking into coming up with a low carb tiramisu recipe if I can. I don't even know how to make regular tiramisu, so I can't say that that's ever going to happen, but that's another sort of idea that's rolling around in my head. So ribeye chaffles, yes, definitely. I've done steak chaffles before. I haven't had a ribeye in ages. Man, I have to find a new place to buy steaks and stuff like that. We've been looking into buying in bulk if I can find the right place, but it's almost time for the real grilling season to start again. So yeah, let's see here, Corinne. I've never ate cottage cheese before, but I made brownies. Yeah, it's a good way to you use things that you've never had before, and it's a good substitute for a lot of things. I have to post this in 2 comments, YouTube limit. So dark chocolate, peanut butter, goat cheese chaffles, 1 egg, mozzarella cheese, goat cheese, tablespoon of peanut butter made with powder, 1 tablespoon dark chocolate chips, Lily's bar, 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder, tablespoon of sweetener, half tablespoon of cinnamon. They sound really good, John. Definitely. That's the thing. Like the sky's the limit. You can do all. If you like the combination of things like spices and sweeteners and all that, then you can just do all sorts of different things. Never had goat cheese before. What is it comparable to? Goat cheese, it's a dry, well, from what I had it, I haven't had it a lot either, but it's like a drier, crumbly cheese kind of thing. I guess I'm not sure what you would typically compare it to, though, for cheeses. Maybe someone else has a better idea of what it is. Or very creamy, pairs well with sweets and desserts. Yeah, for sure. What's Pete saying? Cheese is the goat. Jesse's saying, Kendra, I've had goat cheese paired with fig, and that was good. Yeah, for sure. Am I on Instagram? I am on Instagram. My Instagram is just _Jason_Keto. I don't post there a lot, but I am there. I will post my I post my thumbnails for my videos over on Instagram every week, kind of thing. I'm not sure anyone comes over and watches the video, but I do have a presence over there. I was on there quite a while before I was on YouTube, in fact. So yes, you should try it, Kendra. It's great in salads and pizza. Let's make sure we're catching up here. Tiramisu, yes, please. Yeah, I'm definitely going to look into trying it. I don't know. Maybe it's not even something that's possible, but that's the fun in it, right? It's just trying to make things that we don't think we can make. Tiramisu isn't hard. The only bad thing is that it uses cup and third cup sugar. I think then there's coffee and cocoa and eggs. Yeah, I knew about the coffee part, but obviously there's going to be sweetener involved and stuff like that. But it's one of those things that I'm willing to give a try and see how it turns out, for sure. But now that I have the mascarpone cheese to use, I might as well try it for something else too, right? And thinking about that, the pumpkin, place in a cheesecloth, squeeze moisture out, and let it drain overnight. Well, that's sort of how I tried to use it. I got some cheesecloth and I put the pumpkin puree in it, and I thought I got all of the moisture out of it. But leaving it overnight to drain might be something I need to do to try and get some more of the moisture out of it. I do like the idea of dehydrating it and using it that way. And ultimately, this new air fryer that I did the review of, has a dehydration setting on it and a nice pan that I could dehydrate the pumpkin puree on. Maybe that way I can dry it right out and finally use actual real pumpkin in a chaffle. So we'll see. Lots of things to try out for sure. Coffee walks and whatever is in the house. Thank you for coming by. Kendra is still to try sardines. Yes, you should try them at some point. These things, yeah. Everyone's talking about peanut butter and pickles too. I'm not sure what that's about, but that sounds interesting for sure. So yeah, we're lots of things to try out and come up with new exciting ideas. Again, I like making the chaffle recipes, and everyone seems to enjoy them. But I do want to sort of branch out and make some other things that other people might enjoy. So there's so many different things to make within this niche, like in keto and carnivore and all that. That I could go on to different trends, every month and try something different. But like there's all sorts of things you can make out of eggs. All sorts of things you can make out of cottage cheese, seafood. All the proteins are made for interesting videos. I've sort of just gotten stuck focusing on the chaffles, which I enjoy making, but it may be time to start branching out and trying some different things for sure. Sardines are awesome. Try the smoked ones. Yeah, just try to make sure you're a lot of times the sardines come in oil, but it's really crappy oil. It's like, typically like canola oil and stuff like that. So you just want to watch what it's packed in. Water's obviously best, but if you can get them in olive oil, it's probably still not going to be the best, but it's better than like vegetable oils kind of thing. So I enjoy them, no, for sure. Prez the investor, how you doing? It's good to see you. Haven't seen you around for a while. I was in one of your lives the other day. Hopefully you're doing all right. I know you were busy working, trying to make that money, so we can all appreciate that for sure. So it's good to see you around, though. How do sardines compare with pickled herrings? Love that stuff. I enjoy herrings a little bit myself, a little bit better myself than than sardines, but I don't mind sardines as well. Scratch and Pete, I'm willing to try anything. We'll hold you to that, Pete. I'm going to try and make a keto peanut butter and pickle sandwich. Oh, hey, I can just make chaffles for the bread. Yeah, that sounds interesting, Kendra. you should definitely make a video out of that one. You may get some interesting comments on it, but I'm sure it would be fun. Jody is here. Thank you for coming in, Jody. I appreciate it. Trish is saying King Oscar sardines in olive oil are great, skinless and boneless. Get the ones in the box, not the wrapped ones. Good advice. Yeah, so you can get them without the skin and the bones and all that, if that's sort of something that freaks you out and you can't get past it. It's a small fish, so it's definitely a acquired taste. But a lot of people can't get past the whole fish part of it. So, but it's the one thing with sardines and small fish like that is they are just packed with omega-3s. So they're really good for you. So having them as often as you can handle them is definitely going to be good for your health. Paul and Jason prefer olive oil. How's everyone's day been? My day has been all right, I guess. Tomorrow is Friday, so can't complain for sure. Consume the Goodness stole my mad scientist hat. Yeah, Kendra's got some pretty interesting ideas, that's for sure. So she's gonna make a video and try sardines in that same video. There you go. It's I do enjoy them for sure. And I should eat more of them. That's just something I never think about when I'm thinking about what else I should try, kind of thing. I get stuck on eating the same thing all the time. So I like the sardines and the herring, and I like smoked oysters and stuff like that too. Lots of good stuff. And like Paul and Jason are saying, their anchovies, love anchovies. I need to get some of those too. I've been looking at getting some of those. I've also been looking at getting, I wanted to get some pimentos or some pimento to put those in chaffles as well with like jalapenos and stuff like that, because I saw some comments from someone saying that that's the way they like what they like to put in their chaffles, but I just cannot find pimento anywhere. I don't know if I'm just looking for the wrong thing, but sardines would be an interesting addition for chaffles too. Definitely another highly acquired taste kind of thing, but I enjoy them for sure. Tiffany's saying they had to defrost the barbecue. Well, that's not good. Joe likes sardines and lots of hot sauce. Yes, that's a good way to eat them for sure. John's saying, I have a Google sheet with all my saved recipes. If I clean it up a little and get a shareable link, we will post it in your live stream. Yep. Yeah. If you can get a link that we can share, just let me know, John. And then we can, on one of the future live streams, you can email it to me or whatever. If you can get it over to me, then we can post it in here or sort of on the community tab as well. Like you say, I'm always game to give or to help offer people other ideas, and because chances are a lot of people will read what you've come up with and thought, okay, well, that sounds really good, so I'm going to tweak it a little bit to make something that I like, just like you're doing. So the more sort of recipes we have for alternatives for this lifestyle that are out there, the better, because that just makes it a lot easier for all of us. And Jody's here with Marketplace Boutique. Thank you for coming. Fairbrook Studios is here. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Those King Oscar ones are just like tuna to me. Same taste, but not the same look as albacore. I douse with Frank's Red Hot sauce because it's the law here in Buffalo. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I'm intrigued to find out how they would work in chaffles with like maybe cream cheese and like pickled jalapenos or something. I just can't find them. I don't know what I'm missing. You would have thought I'd be able to, like, I've looked in probably half a dozen different stores to try and find pimentos, but I don't, again, I just don't know if I'm looking for the wrong thing. No, but I can't find it to save my life. T-Dog's here. Thanks for coming, Thompson. Appreciate it. Saw you had another video come out today, so I'll definitely be checking that out maybe later today or tomorrow. Everyone's saying hi to Thompson. Thank you for that. If you can hit the thumbs up, definitely be appreciated. Stupid wind. Yeah. You got yours on Amazon, and I think I looked for them on Amazon as well. on Amazon.ca, and I didn't find anything that I wanted to. Oh, yeah, couldn't find pimentos. I can find sardines, all of those, the sardines for sure, but yeah, I can't find pimentos for some reason. Yeah, usually right next to the olive, at least in our stores. Yep, and that's where I've been looking for them, and I cannot find them in that area of the store. Pimentos here come in very small jars, usually on top shelf at the end of the pickles. Yeah, and that's sort of what I figured it would come in and where it should be in the store. Yeah, and pimentos, yeah, are just roasted red peppers. So basically, Trish, so if that's what I look for is just like a little jar of roasted red peppers, that's all I'm really looking for, and I just cut them up and to put them into to chaffles. Again, I wasn't completely didn't understand that. I didn't know how they came, kind of thing, and what I was looking for. So if I open a can of sardines and ever see even a hint of a tail or head, I'm not eating them. I have yet to try them. Probably never will. Yeah, I've had some with the head and the tail on them, but I do prefer to not have them. Let's just put it that way. Did I try looking in the international food section? Yeah, I did. It was still haven't found anything. Like, I've been all through other stores, but again, chances are I'm probably not even looking for the right thing. And like Trish says, is that they're just roasted red peppers. So maybe I'm looking for like entirely different wrong things. So talking about the wind and weather out there to call it, and I got to get my nighttime stuff done. Have one more smack before 8 p.m. Got to fast for 12 hours for blood work in the morning. Take care, John. Thank you for being here again. And yeah, if you want to try and get a clean link for your Google sheet for those recipes, we can share that out on one of these live streams for sure. Bonnie is here. Thanks for coming, Bonnie. Appreciate you stopping by. Tiffany's telling us what she thinks of sardines. Yeah, that's the reaction a lot of people get with them. The king oysters just look like small cooked fish fillets. They don't look like little fishes. Yeah. That's always best for people that are, don't like looking at the whole fish for sure. And Jody's agreeing with Tiffany about that. So, what's that, Pete? You will never get me to eat sardines again. Salty fish on crackers are awesome. Great oil for salad dressings too. Yep, for sure. Cool. Yeah, it's lots of different things to try. One of my favorite things, and I don't do them very often, is the smoked oysters. I can just sit there with a tin of those and eat them with a toothpick until that tin's gone. One of the things though is that I would prefer, just because of the odor from the oysters and the sardines like that, would probably be better during the summer, so that I can go out and sit on the deck and just eat them like that. So Bonnie likes the boneless, skinless King Oscar. Yeah. And Thompson's saying, I would love sardines. Have yet to come across any with heads. Yeah. Yeah. Like I say, there's definitely, I'm not trying to kill anyone. I'm trying to kill you with shellfish. Yes, smoked oysters are very tasty. Usually buy the ones from Costco. Cool. Yeah, lots of good options out there. Like I say, the only thing I really ever concern myself with is just making sure that you read what it's packed in, because typically a lot of the times if it says it's packed in oil, it's going to wind up being some pretty not so good oil that it's packed in. But there's some great ones out there. And then if you can find it in waters, even better. So once you get the goal feature, set it to 5. And if you reach it, eat a sardine live. Oh, that's bad, Pete. But good idea. Yeah, hopefully, Tiffany, you can get that goal feature sorted out. I don't know why you're not seeing that feature on your premieres or live streams. It's weird. That's what I tell them. They're the best I've found so far. I've had a version. Yeah. So yeah, again, it's one of those things where you think, and before I ever tried them too, I'm like, oh, I don't want to try sardines. But after I tried them a couple of times and had herrings and stuff like that, I really enjoyed them. So, but things people's tastes are entirely different, and some people, there's just things that some people do not like, and I completely get it. I crave sardines. Well, there you go. Good thing to crave. There's could be lots of worse things to crave. That's for sure. Not happening, Pete. Mike's Creations. Thank you for being here, Mike. Appreciate you coming in. Could I put smoked oysters in a chaffle? I plan to eventually. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. It's been one thing I have thought about putting in chaffles is smoked oysters. I'm not sure how it would turn out, but we will find out one of these weeks for sure. Google says to try a West Indian shop for pimentos. Apparently, Canadians are not big eaters of pimentos. I can see that. So I will keep that in mind, Joe. Thank you for that. I've made tuna salad for my family who loved it. Little did they know it was mixed with sardines and mackerel. Oh boy. But, I've heard that before too. Just make it like tuna salad. It's just seafood, right? So, make a lobster roll chaffle. That would be good too, for sure. Yeah, Kendra's saying maybe I can get everyone to try sardines without them even knowing it. Yeah. And a shrimp one. Okay, now I'm killing myself with. That's funny. I've done shrimp and chaffles before too. They turned out pretty good. So, yeah, seafood does pretty good in chaffles. Like I say, I think I've done tuna. I've done shrimp. I've done sardines a couple of times. I've made sardine chaffles in the past, and they actually turned out really good. I want to do oysters. I want to do anchovies at some point. The anchovy one will be a little bit tricky, I think, just because of how much flavor they have. I'm going to have to figure out what to put in them with it, kind of thing. Like whether I put them in with some jalapenos or something to sort of offset the taste of the anchovies just a little bit, kind of thing. So lots of good ideas flowing here tonight for sure. Ruby saying I definitely preferred sardines to tuna. Yeah, Trish is. Yeah, you can definitely pull that off, Kendra. It's worth a try, right? So thank you for posting that link, Paula. I don't even remember how long ago it was that I made shrimp chaffles, shrimp toast. Yeah. Ooh, what about escargot? Tried that in a chaffle. I have not, but I do like escargot. I probably preferred the smoked oysters, but crab cake chaffles would be good as well. So yeah, lots of great ideas, like Paula is saying here. Ultimately, I have found very few things that don't really work too well in chaffles, because really all you're doing is cooking it into something that makes it a little easier to eat. The beauty of your basic mozzarella cheese chaffle recipe is that if it's done right, it doesn't really have any flavor. Like that's the great thing about chaffles themselves. You can make them very flavorful. You can add, um, lots of seasoning and different things to the chaffle mix itself to make, plain chaffles taste quite, different. But your basic mozzarella cheese and egg, to me at least, it doesn't really have much flavor at all. So I think that's why it lends itself so well to adding, pretty much anything into them. So Tiffany's saying, what's the difference? Escargot or smoked oysters? They both taste like a balloon. That's funny. Thompson's vote is for lobster rolls. So yeah, that would definitely be interesting. It's funny. One of my grandsons, I don't know if he's tried it yet, but he's been asking to try lobster. So I'm going to try to get some of that for him this spring kind of thing and see how he likes it. So maybe we'll use some of that to make chaffles as well. So, well, thanks for that, Trish. I really appreciate that. Trish just gifted 5 memberships. That is very generous of you. So Michael's Adventures, Jody from Marketplace Boutique, Evelyn, Karma from Lewis Acre Farm Karma, and Mel Runs Things all got memberships. Well, thank you for that. Definitely appreciate that. And I'm sure everyone will be happy to get the memberships. It's very generous of you to do that. I always like gifting memberships. I think it's a fun way to support channels for sure. But yeah, thanks again for that. Really appreciate it. Scallops could be good too. Yeah, for sure. We made chaffles with imitation crab meat, cream cheese, and jalapeno with crispy Parmesan. Oh, sounds good for sure. I'm pretty sure I made crab meat chaffles with the one time too, just with the canned crab meat, which was good. I think it would be nice to try some fresh crab or fresh lobster meat. It's just trying to find it without it being without needing a mortgage to buy it kind of thing. So keto on, absolutely. Yeah, and that's why I like talking to everybody that likes the chaffle recipes and coming up with these ideas. It definitely gives me inspiration to come up with new things that we can do week to week that people might enjoy. Again, some of the ideas we come up with aren't really going to be something that a lot of people like, but some of them are real crowd pleasers. So yes, congrats to the new members. Yep, you gave us the idea. Thank you for that. Lasagna chaffle. Yep. Yeah, that's probably something that could be made easy enough. There's actually a keto lasagna recipe that replaces the noodles with sliced meat, like sliced ham and turkey in that. Like you just layer the turkey and the ham in the layers that would have been the lasagna noodles. And apparently I haven't made it yet. I want to try it, but apparently it turns out you can barely even tell that it's not regular pasta noodles. So possum chaffle, I don't know. I guess anything is possible, Carrie, but I don't know about that one. Cubans, yeah, could definitely make those. I sort of made a Reuben chaffle at one point, using an idea from someone else, from another creator, using like making rye bread chaffles using the caraway seeds. Tastes really good. Like that's one of my favorite chaffles. If you haven't tried that, um, did we make that on a live cook along? I can't remember if that was one of the things that I made, but because I made rye bread chaffles. So basically, they're just a regular chaffle recipe with caraway seeds in them that give them that rye bread flavor. And then I bought everything else to make a Reuben kind of thing, or mostly everything, and then we made that up. So all sorts of possibilities out there for sure. Gary, yeah, you get to eat the first one. There you go. Well, almost everything. You are hungry, yes. I eat possum, but at the same time, I eat sardine. There you go. Take care, Matt. Mouse, thank you for hanging out with us through the premiere at 7 and also the live stream. Again, thanks to anyone and everyone that has, spent some time with me tonight. Definitely appreciate it. I didn't really know when to premiere that video. I've gotten so used to doing one video premiere and one live stream a week that when it comes down to having more videos to premiere and put out there, I just trying to find the right time to do it is a little difficult for me. So hopefully putting it just before my live stream tonight works out. I don't know. It was just a thought kind of thing. But yeah, I enjoy hanging out with everyone tonight for sure. Thank you for coming in, Trish. It's I really appreciate you being here and gifting those memberships. Thank you again for that. We're saying bye to Matt Mouse. Thank you. Thank you for that, Kendra. I try to enjoy our chit chats every week here. Like the nice thing about all of you that join me on these live streams is that we don't really need anything to talk about. We just talk about what comes up. There's enough of us hanging out here that we just bounce ideas off each other and try to come up with new chaffle recipes and, talk about whatever we talk about. Most of what tonight's been about is just actual keto stuff. Some weeks we talk more about YouTube, which I know unfortunately probably bores the the keto part of my community to death. But yeah, I do enjoy these conversations where we can bounce ideas off each other and, hopefully people get inspiration from what we're talking about. Thank you for that, Pete. I appreciate it. You're always one of the first people to come by and comment and all that. And I really appreciate it. Same with you, Paul and Jason and Kendra. And thanks for coming by, Tracy. Really appreciate it. It's, having you all here hanging out with me every Thursday night is appreciated more than you probably know. Like it's what sort of builds this community for me and getting to know newer people. Like we wind up with new people in the chat pretty much every week, and we're getting to the point where we have a really great group of people here that are willing to participate for the most part. So definitely appreciated. Tracy saying, I've been trying to get back on keto. It's hard. Yes, it is, Tracy. It's like anything. change is hard, and changing your lifestyle is one of the hardest things you can do in life. But that's why we're here. That's why we're trying to build this community. Is just to try and make small changes. Like if you ask Paula and Jason here, the way they do things is they make small changes, right? Trying to do certain things just a little bit better, right? And that's the way that they thrive. Trying to be better is to not sort of do full on things like keto and all that, but just trying to clean things up a little bit. It makes such a difference to do things like that. So one day at a time, one meal at a time, one moment at a time, hoping the best. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I'm just happy to have some time now to hang out before we get busy again. Yep. I definitely appreciate you being here, Tiffany. It's I can imagine, it's one of those things. Thankfully, with my job, I work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And I'm busy every day. So I don't really have busy times and slow times and all that. There's going to be less time sort of overall during the summer, obviously, because we do, different things and all that. And I'm going to try and get into doing some batch recording if I can, and try and get, ideally it would be nice to get a month ahead of time every time, and have 4 videos in the can, as they say, ready to go for the month. And then try and keep that far ahead so that when we do go away on vacations and stuff like that, I'm not sort of scrambling to get things done. So, but I've said that 100 times too before, and here we are still making videos on Sunday mornings to put up for the premiere at 5:00. So I guess I just thrive on being hectic on stuff like that. Motion New Soul, thank you for coming in. Appreciate you being here. Everyone's saying hi. Thanks for sticking around and being in the background, Annie. Definitely appreciate it. Love batch filming and filming in advance. Yes, I do too. And I've done it before, and it's such a good feeling to know that there's you don't have to sort of rush to get things done. And I guess ultimately I just have to work on coming up with the recipe ideas. And then, when I have a day free or a night free or whatever, I just have to, suck it up and get it done. Even if I don't edit things right away, then I can at least get them filmed. So I film in advance, but take too long to edit. Yeah, for sure. That's I guess ultimately why I sort of gravitate to the videos that I do, is that I was saying earlier, push comes to shove, I can film and edit and post and do the thumbnail and all that for my weekly chaffle recipe. I can usually get that done in under an hour, which really ultimately tells me that there's, I'm just being lazy and procrastinating because ultimately if I had enough ideas for chaffle recipes, I could have, 5 or 6 of them done in a day, no problem. It's just, it never happens. So maybe I just work better on a deadline. Who knows? So Andy's saying there, she's a procrastinator. Okay. Well, I get it now. Cool. Okay. Well, we're just over an hour tonight, so we'll probably wrap things up. Again, for anyone that was with me for the premiere of my unboxing video at 7:00 tonight, really appreciate it. If you haven't seen that video, it's live on my channel where we just did an unboxing and a review of an air fryer. So we did that, and then 10 minutes later we started this live stream. So thanks for everybody that's hung in there and chatted with me tonight, because we all know how much better it is when there's lots of people to talk to in these live streams. So you're welcome. Yep, you can binge make and freeze some and reheat in the air fryer for sure. Thank you for that link, Pete. Appreciate it. Thank you, Kendra. We'll see you tomorrow night for your premiere as well. So, and keep an eye out. I know we sort of mentioned it last week, but Kendra and I have something coming up in the next week or so that I think is going to be fun. It's a little bit of a fun special, challenge that we're doing. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be coming out soon. I've got everything I need to do my end, and we just have to get things done. But we'll let you know when those videos are going to come out, which should be fairly soon. You won't have to wait too long, but I'm looking forward to it for sure. So that's about it. It will be fun, Kendra. Absolutely. So, okay. Well, thank you for being here. Thanks to the moderators for dropping the links for me tonight. I appreciate you doing that for me. We'll be back Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern with another chaffle recipe for the week. And then we'll be back here again next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern for another chit chat live stream. And then that's about it. Hope you all have a good weekend and a good week coming up. We will see you next time. Keep on thriving, my friends.